What's up everyone? We're gonna do a sit down video today. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but I have a lot that's going on my mind, and I think that y'all liked the burnout video. I love being transparent with you. That's something that's really important to me. I want to be honest with you just everywhere as I'm growing as a creator and as a person. I want to take you along with that journey. So I hope that you don't mind that this is a little bit different of a video, but it's still going to be something that is going to teach you a lot, I think. And I titled this video, The Dark Side of Being an Influencer, because it seems like everyone that is influential, I kind of hate that word a little bit, but it seems like everyone that is influential is living this like baller, amazing life and everyone just loves them. And it's just not the case. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that makes this incredibly difficult. I have a lot of notes here that I'm going to go over in this video as well, because my mindset has really shifted about a lot of things because of something that I went through recently. I'm not going to go over what that exact situation was, but if you've been on Twitter and you've seen me on Twitter at all in the last month, you probably understand. So without going into too much detail, I made a mistake that caused a lot of anger from some people and some not so much anger, I guess. And I've had a lot of realizations because of this thing. So I'll walk you through a few of them that I've come to terms with. And the first one is that I think as you become more successful as a creator, so we see these people like Philly D, or I don't even know, insert massive person here, we think that there's some kind of evolved life form and that they're perfect and they got there because they're such a better human being than we are. And that's not necessarily true. People grow because they make some kind of impact in people's lives in pretty much one way generally. And that doesn't mean that they're perfect in every single piece of their life. That's just not the case. But people start to, I think, subconsciously expect perfection out of you. And at a certain point, you start to realize that everything that you do is under the microscope. It's everything that you do, there will be critics. Even if you were to go on Twitter and post 3 little dots, post an ellipses, somebody is going to have a massive problem with that. And that can either help people into trusting you, or it can prevent them from trusting you and kind of break a relationship. But every single thing that you do is really under the microscope, and it puts this almost abnormal amount of pressure on you as the creator to be perfect. And I think that's great. I think that we should all, as leaders, try to be leaders. Desiring leadership from your leaders is absolutely not a problem, and people should always be held accountable. But I think the problem that happens in this situation is that creators start to break down a little bit. So you start putting up a lot of walls, and you start not being able to trust people as much, and you start to almost have this imposter syndrome. If I messed up once, does this negate all of the work that I've done? Does this really mean maybe I am a jerk? Maybe I do really suck, and I just haven't realized it until now. Imposter syndrome is very difficult. If you've ever dealt with that, let me know, because it sucks, and my heart goes out to you if you've ever struggled with that. For those of you who don't know, imposter syndrome is this idea that you don't deserve the success that you've received. Regardless of how large that success is, you don't deserve it. And it can really mess with your head and prevent you from reaching higher, or prevent you from developing relationships with people that are your peers, because you consider yourself to be beneath them, or you consider yourself as just getting lucky as opposed to having worked hard for the thing. But like I said, people should absolutely be held accountable, and people should always try to do better. I think it's really important that I say this a couple of times, because I don't want any of this to come across as I'm making excuses for people that did bad things, because that's absolutely not true, and I will always stand against injustice. But I hope that I help kind of prepare you for this reality, because at some point as a creator, you might find yourself surrounded by controversy. Like, there were a lot of people that I thought were genuine, true friends to me that I saw publicly and privately bashing me. And I understand that we all have haters. There are going to be people that don't dig me, and that's okay. But what really sucks is whenever you think that you have a friend in someone and then you see them jumping on just a massive train of hate because you made a mistake. And as much as I talk about this in this video, I don't think that anything can really prepare you for this situation and for like receiving a lot of criticism from people, because it's hard, I think, for anyone. It's difficult. Human beings aren't meant to be hated on by like hundreds or thousands of people. It's just, it sucks, but also it's the reality of participating in the public arena. Like, the cost of entry for this is that people are going to judge every single thing that you do, and that's just the reality of what this is. It sucks, but that's what it costs. So if you really love streaming or YouTube or just social media in general, you have to love it more than the amount of criticism that you're going to receive. And that's not necessarily that you're absolutely going to receive criticism, but I think we're all human beings and we all make mistakes. And I really now understand that cliche that people make mistakes and they mess up. And a lot of us, we want to say that, but we don't live by that. So whenever someone makes a mistake, we hold them to this high level of accountability and completely burn a bridge and destroy a relationship for one mistake, right? And that's not to say that every human being deserves to be rehabilitated and loved regardless of their mistakes. I don't personally know where I stand on all of that, because I do believe in rehabilitation, and I do truly believe that like people at their core, I'm like Anne Frank in it right now, but I really do believe that people at their core are good. I think that people have so much light inside of them, but sometimes the darkness takes over. Like, we've all got that yin and yang inside of us, and sometimes the light will be really great about being present for a long time, but maybe once in a while the darkness comes out, and that's okay. Not saying that that's what my situation was. My thing was something that was taken totally out of context. It wasn't my darkness appearing or whatever, but anyways, so I think acceptance of the reality of what this is really important. A lot of us think we want to be as big as Ninja, we want to be as important as Oprah, but can you really put up with the criticism of that? Is that actually your goal? Is your goal to be massively, massively famous? Nothing wrong with that, but understand that there's going to be a lot of nastiness that comes with it too. And if you don't like the idea of that, then having a more realistic goal of maybe you want to be a streamer with like 100 average viewers, understanding that that's kind of where you cap out and what you want to be comfortable with is okay too. So I think there's a lot to be said for like strategy and creating interesting, educational and entertaining content, but there's also a lot to be said for your mental fortitude and how much attention can you actually handle, because not everyone can handle tons and tons and tons of it. So definitely prepare yourself for potential toxicity as you grow. It sucks, but it's kind of the reality of what it is. And I think maybe next time you see an influencer that makes a mistake, try to get all of the information before you make a decision. Ask yourself, based on all of the other content I've seen from this person, does this potential mistake, or is this a reflection of all of that, right? Because you can tell a lot from a person, especially whenever you're hanging out with them on stream. I feel like YouTube videos, people can cut and chop stuff up, but whenever you're hanging out with someone for hours and hours and hours, you get a really good sense of who they are. And then if you go onto social media or you go into a YouTube video or they say something that makes you like, what was that? Why did they say that? You should be able to have like a decent amount of interaction or experience with that person before you make a quick judgment. And I feel like now my opinion of social media and everything has very, very, very much changed. I have different goals for it now. And a lot of that has to do with me just being on it less. Honestly, one of my main focuses right now is just scheduling out tweets and scheduling out Instagram posts and going in and responding to comments maybe 10 minutes a day, and not spending time scrolling on these websites and not looking at what everyone else is doing and what everyone else is up to, because I think that can lead to comparison, that can lead to toxicity. There's so much negativity on places like Twitter and Instagram. There's a lot of great stuff too, but there's also just a lot of nastiness. But I think part of the job is you have to have a presence on these platforms, but you have to find a way to do it in a way that fits into your lifestyle and is healthy for you as well. There's a lot, y'all. There's a lot that I've been thinking of. Thank you for listening to me. I just want you to know that I really, really do care about you. I did not struggle for 4 years to streaming to like 15 or 20 people. I didn't struggle through all of the things that I've done and through all the things I've tried to create to just screw everything up and just like throw it all away. Right? Like, I truly do care for streamers, and I hope that that comes across in all of my content, in everything that I do. But I am a human being. I probably will make a mistake again, and I hope that next time, if you understand, I mean, I hope that that's something that I can encourage you to do with this video. I don't want to feel like I can't be honest with y'all, or I can't be authentic with you, or I have to just be this like robot posting up to perfect, stuff all the time. I think that, once again, as I said, leaders should be leaders, and I'm definitely holding myself accountable for this mistake. I'm definitely starting to understand that I am way more... there's a lot more eyeballs on me than I expected. So if you don't know my story, I've been a small creator my entire experience. I've been doing this for almost 6 years, and I've been very, very small until the last 7 months or so. So this world is very new to me. This is like very shocking to have this amount of eyes on what I'm doing, but I wish it didn't take a mistake for me to understand that. But at the same time, I think that it's a really great lesson for me in that we all have way more influence than we think we do. We all have way more people watching us than we think we do. And we all have way more impact on other people's lives than we think we do. And this has definitely made me step into my role as a role model. I guess my role to be a role model. Role. It's definitely made me step into that a lot more and understand that I need to take responsibility for literally every single freaking punctuation mark, every single little piece of everything that I do needs to be put through the lens of, is this going to come across the right way? And it was before. This was just that one moment of like, oh crap, anyways, this like one mistake. So I'm definitely holding myself more accountable and stepping more into that leadership role than I guess I expected I would have to. This is all very new to me. So just know I really care about you, and I really want to do the best for you. And I'm trying my hardest to make sure that I help you all as much as possible, because I know what it feels like to not understand why you aren't growing, and I know what it feels like to feel like you're so alone. And I have things that I'm still learning too. Even though I give a lot of information, I still very much am learning a lot of things. So I will be honest with you throughout this learning process. I want to take you on this journey. I want to be there with you while I'm discovering all these things, so that hopefully you can learn something from it as well. And so I hope that's kind of what this video is gonna do for you. I hope that it helps you learn from my example and it helps you step into your leadership a little sooner than maybe you would have if you hadn't seen it. Remember that you're responsible for everything that you say, you're responsible for everything that you do, and just make sure that you do your best. This doesn't mean be perfect, but do your best to be the best version of yourself as much as you possibly can. And if the darkness slips through, hopefully you've been honest with your community up until that point so that they can understand and they truly know what you care about. Okay. I think that's all I have. I have so many feelings about this. Like I said, it's shaped a lot. So anyways, I love y'all so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting me talk about this stuff and for letting me be open and honest with you. I know not a lot of creators get to do this. A lot of people have to put on that robot persona. I don't want to have to do that. So thank you so much for understanding. I really, really love you. Oh my god, I'm actually getting emotional. Oh my god, am I gonna cry during this video? I gotta go. Oh my god. Bye!